Love him or hate him, Logan Paul is considered to be one of the most popular social media influencers of the new age, with his army of mavericks subscribing in the millions and making him one of the richest 25-year-olds in the world. And although he's found himself at the center of a number of controversies over the years, there's no doubt that he's still going strong. But what does someone like Logan Paul spend his hard-earned cash on, and what do experts consider his net worth to be at the moment? Well, whether you're a fan of the older Paul brother or just want to find out more about the crazy things he spends his money on, stay tuned, as we're about to explore both the net worth and lifestyle of Logan Paul. So strap yourselves in and get ready to feel some jealousy, as things are about to get pretty insane. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. A little more about Logan. Logan Alexander Paul was born in Westlake, Ohio on the 1st of April 1995, which might sound like a bit of an April Fool's joke considering whom we're talking about, but we promise you this is as real as it gets. Surprisingly enough, he began to create YouTube videos when he was only 10 years old under the moniker of Zoosh, which we suppose shows that he always wanted to entertain people with his crazy antics. He ended up attending Westlake High School in his teenage years, where he not only graduated, but spent a bit of time on both the football field and wrestling mat. In fact, Logan actually achieved the ranks of the Plain Dealers All-Star linebacker in 2012 and qualified for the state-level Ohio High School Athletic Association's 2013 Division I Wrestling Championship. Suffice it to say, he was a pretty gifted guy from the start. By the time that Logan had enrolled in college, his status as an influencer was starting to grow by obtaining a solid following on the Vine platform, where he both lip-synced and danced on a daily basis. This success caused him to drop out of Ohio University around 2014 and move with his brother Jake to LA, where he would be able to follow his dreams of becoming an entertainer. After moving into an apartment with a number of other Vine stars, Logan was named as the 10th most influential figure on Vine, which allowed him to get a foot in the door of the filming industry. In early 2015, he appeared on Law & Order Special Victims Unit and secured a role on both Weird Loners and the Freeform series Stitchers. 2016 also saw him starring in The Thinning, which was a movie released exclusively on YouTube Red starring Peyton List alongside him, who went on to become a huge star in her own right. Fans of the Vine star should also know that Logan actually wrote a screenplay for an adult comedy called Airplane Mode, which released in August of 2019. These talented ventures of the oldest Paul brother brought a number of brands to his door, which included but is by no means limited to Hanes, Pepsi, and even HBO. But as successful as Logan has been in the film industry, it must be said that nothing tops his career on YouTube, where he currently holds just under 23 million subscribers. Bringing in millions of views on a daily basis, the media personality could swim in the amount of money he makes off of advertisement alone in this regard. Logan's net worth. As an American YouTuber, internet personality, actor, and podcaster, Logan Paul has been able to make a name for himself around the world and continues to be popular regardless of the countless controversies that the star has been involved in. It must be said that Logan has also made a lot of his wealth through the establishment of his own brand, which he calls Maverick. Maverick merch is sold by the truckload every day, allowing Logan to buy just about anything he wants. He also started a beef with fellow YouTuber KSI that bled into a pretty lucrative celebrity boxing career, which has been considered by many to have been one of his most lucrative moves in the sporting industry. Keeping all of this in mind, experts have estimated Logan's net worth to be around $19 million at the moment, which is not bad considering how he just started out by posting some cringy videos of himself on Vine. But with such a vast amount of wealth in his back pocket, what type of lifestyle does Logan live? Well, let's take a look for ourselves by exploring some of the most expensive items he's ever bought. Number 1. The infamous bird ring. Fans of Logan Paul will know that he has a parrot by the name of Maverick, whom he loves with all of his heart. In fact, many of the vlogs Logan started out with when first making a name for himself on YouTube featured the colorful bird, along with statements that Logan likes him more than the majority of people in the world. And considering how terrible people can be, we understand exactly how Logan feels. To show his overwhelming affection for his multicolored friend, though, Logan went ahead and bought Maverick a bird ring, which is exactly what it sounds like. Since rings are usually made to fit around the finger of a human, this one needed to be custom made to fit around the ankle of Maverick. In essence, it cost Logan just under $5,000 to have the platinum ring made, and it's also encrusted with a number of diamonds that played a large role in bumping up its value. He then needed to pay a little extra for a visit to the veterinarian, who assisted Logan in securing the ring to Maverick's ankle. Whether Maverick actually liked the gift, we'll never know, but we're guessing it's probably the most expensive gift ever bought for a parrot in Los Angeles and maybe even the world. Number 2. His jewelry collection. As a social media celebrity who loves to show off his excessive wealth, Logan hasn't just invested in jewelry for Maverick, but loves to rock a few pieces of bling himself. His collection is pretty huge and consists of a number of custom-made Maverick rings, chains, and of course, status-confirming wristwatches. If you were to flick through the titles of his vlogs over the years, you'll actually come across one where he speaks about buying a $3 million wristwatch for himself. But don't panic, as this was nothing more than clickbait. In fact, Logan did try the expensive Rolex on, but ended up purchasing another for himself, which came at a much lower $40,000. Flashing a wristwatch costing so much cash cash is still considered to be a baller move though, even though fans might have been expecting something more in the $1 million range. Number 3. His car collection. Logan Paul also considers himself to be a bit of a gearhead, and has on occasion used the money in his bank account to give himself a few choices when it comes to getting from A to B. Probably one of his most beloved additions to this collection of his is the white raised Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon that he bought a few years ago. This vehicle ended up costing him around $300,000, which is next to nothing when you consider how much he actually has at his disposal. He also paid for the SUV to be raised and painted with the Maverick logo. Funnily enough, after all of this was said and done, he ended up getting hit by another car when trying to make his way into a parking garage, which made him frustrated to say the least. Reports have also indicated that he owns a Polaris Slingshot, which cost around $30,000, and allowed him to enter into an elite group of owners, which includes, among others, the illustrious Snoop Dogg. Another vehicle which features quite prominently is his Dodge Challenger, which he actually uses as a merch car and constantly has wrapped in a number of different ways. And last but not least, we can't stop talking about the man's car collection without at least referring to his Cool Bus, which is a working model of a school bus that Logan took to West Coast Customs to be customized. Referring to this monstrous contraption in his own words, Logan said, "It's the most ridiculously obnoxious and savage content machine in the United States. It's not a head turner, it's a goddamn neck breaker, and it bangs." And while we have no idea how much this customization and school bus must have cost him in the long run, there's no doubt that West Coast Customs are the best of what they do. In other words, Logan must have paid a pretty penny to have his cool bus finished and ready to ride. Number 4. Giving back to those who helped him. Although many people have referred to Logan as a bit of a sociopath, it must be said that he has on occasion used his wealth to give back to those who have helped him over the years. Even though he and his brother Jake had a bit of a falling out a few years ago, they solidly made up with Logan buying him quite a few gifts to show his affection. It must also be said that Logan decided one day to treat his assistant to a brand new 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which he posted a picture of on his Instagram account, thanking her for her help. The question of whether Logan gave these gifts to show affection or gain more public recognition is of course a question for another day though. All that matters is that he did indeed spend his wealth to do so, which is why these actions make the list. Number 5. His rigorous training schedule. As we mentioned earlier, Logan has also made quite a name for himself in the celebrity boxing ring over the last couple of years, facing off against fellow YouTube sensation KSI. And while he did wrestle back in high school, it must be said that Logan had to undergo quite a bit of training to get into the ring and not be completely pummeled by KSI. Quite a bit of money thus had to be spent on a variety of tools to help him achieve the form he needed for this venture, including both gym equipment and a number of trainers to have his back. Logan might not have the best form that boxing has ever seen and may have eventually been beaten by KSI, but he continues to train to this day and will likely be calling for another fight in the not too distant future. Who knows, professional boxing might just have a place for him yet if he keeps it up. But what do you think of the lifestyle Logan Paul lives? Feel free to let us know in the comment section down below.